I'm sure a lot of people are going to read this video and they're going to go, oh man, Crapgamer's hating Xbox again, which couldn't be further from the truth. I'm actually more into Xbox now than I have been in a vastly long time. And not only am I more into Xbox now than I have been in a very long time, but I also want to say that I think that Xbox is doing a lot of really, really good things. The one thing that I think, well, I mean, there's a couple things. Like, a lot of people don't understand. When it comes to me, when I think of Xbox, I'm not one of those type of people that's going to sit there and hype up cloud gaming or the PC side of things. I couldn't care less about that stuff. I'm just being honest with you. Yes, there's going to be people out there and there's going to be YouTubers out there that are going to talk that up and be like, wow, this is great. And they're going to take their pictures next to their router playing xCloud, 2 feet away, like how great it is, and then never go back to playing it, right? There's going to be people like that. I totally get that. For me, I'm not one of those people because I think cloud gaming sucks. I think it's a waste of time. I think it's a waste of everything. And the same thing with the PC side of things. I'm never going to be a PC gamer. I couldn't care less about the PC side of things. I care about the console. Xbox to me is still a console. It's all about the console and only the console. With that being said, this bit of information is I am imploring Phil and imploring Microsoft, rethink this. Listen to what your console fans are saying, and at the end of the day, I think you'll see that many more people are going to be happier this way. Not only the Xbox side, but the PC side and everybody in between. So I think that's exactly what this video is going to be about, and some people are going to, I think, really like it, and some people might not. So let's go ahead and get into it. It's going to be a good topic. Hey, what's up there, everyone? I'm the Crapgamer, and of course, this is Crapgamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice a few changes around here, and that shouldn't stop you from giving us a like and possibly, maybe even consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. It really does mean a lot. You are fantastic, and you know what? And I think that you guys have been absolutely incredible, and I just want to say thank you to each and everybody that has, reached out and has been really nice about helping to build things back up. But this is something that I wanted to talk about. Xbox players are quote-unquote fed up with forced crossplay against PC gamers because Xbox players can't escape PC cheaters. This is something that I have been very adamant about for years when it comes to Xbox, right? And it's not just the mouse and keyboard versus controller thing. It's the cheating thing. And yes, I am well aware that you can, this has nothing to do with mouse and keyboard. This has to do with like hacks and things like that. So I'm going to link this. You guys can check it out. But it's a very interesting topic. Xbox players are growing increasingly frustrated at being forced to play against PC gamers. While crossplay was initially a popular request from Xbox and PC players that Microsoft has backed strongly for years, those playing first-person shooters on Xbox are struggling to opt out of the experience to avoid PC cheaters. Games like Call of Duty Warzone and Halo Infinite force Xbox players to match up against PC gamers in a variety of playlists. You don't have to look very far to see why people are angry about it. Now that cheating in Halo is confirmed on PC, can we have the option to opt out of crossplay? Asked a Reddit post in November, just weeks after the multiplayer version of Halo Infinite launched. Forced crossplay is a scam by Microsoft, reads another post. Forced crossplay is a mistake, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Halo Infinite and Call of Duty Warzone are both suffering from an influx of cheating, largely because they're free-to-play titles, so it's easy for hackers to create a new account following a ban. While there's an option to disable crossplay in Warzone, if you try to load it to a playlist on Xbox, it'll ask you to re-enable it. Whereas on PlayStation, you can simply dismiss the prompt and continue to the playlist with crossplay still disabled. Now, Warzone players on Xbox have been complaining about this forced crossplay for more than a year, with various forum posts and YouTube videos highlighting how irritating it is to be forced into crossplay. Most of the issues are related to PC cheaters who have plagued Warzone for years, and many years before Activision finally added a new anti-cheat system in October with a kernel-level driver to catch PC cheaters. Now that cheaters are already ruining Halo Infinite multiplayer games, the call to remove forced crossplay is certainly growing louder. Halo Infinite players on Xbox are matched against PC gamers in most playlists, and even in ranked modes you have to play solo or as a duo to avoid forced crossplay. If you want to squad up as a team of 3 or 4, you'll be forced to play against PC players in ranked Halo Infinite modes. Microsoft's decision to force crossplay in its own Halo Infinite title runs against previous commitments from the company's head of Xbox, and I quote, I'll never force somebody in our games who's playing with a controller or a mouse and keyboard to play against somebody with a different control scheme, according to Phil Spencer back in an interview with GameSpot in 2016. Mouse and keyboard rotation speed is faster than controller. We know that. You'll lose. Nothing has changed in the classic argument between mouse and keyboard players and controllers. Xbox players simply want the option to be able to opt out of crossplay and not to have to be forced to play against PC players. A lot of PC players would also like to avoid controller aim assist in games like Warzone and Halo Infinite. Now, Battlefield 2042 launched in November with forced crossplay for Xbox players, and then option to disable it for PlayStation owners. In a sign that things can change, developer DICE was quick to add the option to disable crossplay for Xbox players just a few weeks after launch. Even Microsoft's Sea of Thieves, the original darling of crossplay, added an option to disable forced crossplay years after launch. They reached out to Microsoft and Activision to comment on the forced crossplay situation, and neither company was willing to issue a statement in time for publication. 343 Industries, the developer behind Halo Infinite, made it clear it's trying to address the cheating issues in the game yesterday. 343 is hoping to address cheating and other things in a patch in mid-February, but 343 won't be magically fixing cheating issues from its game with a single patch. But here's hoping there's an option to avoid most of them next month. Now, the interesting thing here is I'm not suggesting, hey, there is no crossplay, just don't have any, right? I don't think that should be any kind of talk like that, right? Like, there's a lot of people out there that play one or the other. I think that's perfectly fine, right? Like, if you want to play with PC players or whatever, and I think stuff where it's like co-op, perfectly fine. But I think anytime you have a situation with, especially shooters, and you're trying to mix console and PC, it's an unfair thing, okay? And I've mentioned this numerous times on podcasts. I've did numerous videos about it. It's just not a fair situation. On PC, players have the option for FOV, they have an option for higher frame rates, they have an option to remove foliage. There's a lot of different things like this. In fact, there's been times where I've watched, and this was a couple years ago, I've watched a Twitch stream between two people playing PUBG against each other. Well, it's funny because on one, the person's like climbing through some bushes, crawling through some bushes, thinks he can't be seen. But the other PC player has removed all foliage. So he just sees a guy crawling around on the floor and is able to snipe him. That's a big issue. Like, that's why some people are like, well, why isn't there crossplay between PC PUBG and console PUBG? Well, I mean, there's a main reason would be right there. Okay, so when it comes to Halo, I think it's weird that they treat the console kind of owners like that. You got to give us the option. Yes, keep the option there for those that don't care or don't mind, but we know that cheating is rampant when it comes to PC gaming, and it's just a really bad kind of situation where you can't opt out of it. Like, who has ever heard of that? We're paying money to play online, and yet our games are being invaded by cheating people. It's just absolutely insane. And it's almost unfathomable to think that we're paying for this experience, right? We should be able to. One of the things that I liked about paying for online, well, I mean, I don't like paying for online, but one of the things that I thought was that you get in terms of your value for your payment is a cheat-free quality experience, right? And the fact of the matter is that they're forcing this to play against people that are paying nothing, and yet they're allowed to download all these hacks and things like that. And if you follow me, or you've been following my channel for any length of time, you'll know that I was a huge Sea of Thieves fan, and myself and Mooch, very early on, were playing a lot of Sea of Thieves. We were playing it, having fun. Next thing you know, we run into PC players, and they're using all kinds of hacks and stuff, and we reported it to the forums, and and even still, even though they do have quote-unquote an option to do it, they won't disable it if there's too few people to play or whatever, so it's not really 100% accurate if you're always playing against PC or not, even if you disable that. So, I mean, I get where Microsoft is coming from with some of this stuff, where they, they want people to play their platform, and their platform is anything. It's a TV, it's a phone, it's it's pretty much anything. But I do think that I think that you have to be able to, especially when you have people paying hundreds of dollars for consoles and hundreds of dollars for, to play online. You know, if somebody's paying for Ultimate Game Pass, that's $180 a year, and that includes the ability to play online. That's a lot. They should be able to get something in return for that, like not have to worry about cheaters and hackers and all that kind of stuff. Now, with that being said, I want to say I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are amazing. Let me know what you guys think. I really do appreciate it. You know, honestly, I do. It means so much to me. You guys have been fantastic. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up. Crap gamer out.